This is exciting.
Should have made a hair commercial.
Well, thank you. Your hair is amazing.
This
also,
is half mine.
Blue, I tried to match you
We called each
today.
other. I was like, you wear your acid wash colors.
The controversy between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni has captivated audiences, sparking endless debates and theories, many of which suggest that far more was happening behind the scenes than anyone has fully realized. What started as a seemingly promising romantic movie project quickly took a dramatic turn, evolving from an intense, spicy on-screen romance to a series of real-life conflicts that exposed tensions among the cast and crew. The project, which initially held so much potential, eventually ended in disappointment and chaos, leaving fans and insiders questioning how things could have spiraled so badly. One of the central mysteries revolves around Blake's growing influence on the production and the exact point at which she decided to take control. Observers have speculated endlessly about the circumstances that allowed the situation to reach that stage, and why Justin appeared to overlook or tolerate many of the developments that contributed to the escalating tensions. This theory attempts to explore those questions in depth, highlighting the subtle signs, decisions, and interactions that might point to a deeper story behind the headlines. Perhaps the most compelling and controversial theory to emerge suggests that Blake may have developed feelings for Justin during filming. While she reportedly attempted to convey these emotions subtly, the situation did not unfold in her favor, leading to tension both on set and off. The theory is built on a careful analysis of Blake's past projects, which show that she had never filmed intimate scenes in the same way she did with Justin, suggesting that something about this project was different for her personally. Adding another layer of intrigue, Blake's complaint in the dispute referenced the necessity of an intimacy coordinator on set. However, Justin shared messages that seemed to indicate she had no interest in meeting with the coordinator, directly contradicting her claims. These discrepancies have fueled speculation about the true nature of the on-set dynamics and the extent to which personal feelings and professional decisions became intertwined. When all the pieces are examined together, the breakdown of the project, the reported emotions, the unusual handling of private scenes, and the conflicting accounts regarding the intimacy coordinator, it paints a picture that is far more complex than the public has been led to believe. Hidden connections and subtle clues suggest a story layered with unspoken tensions, unfulfilled expectations, and behind-the-scenes maneuvering, making this one of the most intriguing and closely analyzed controversies in recent Hollywood history. As the drama continues to unfold, fans and insiders alike are left wondering just how many secrets are still waiting to be revealed. Blake Lively's approach on the set of Ends With Us reveals just how intertwined her real self and her character were, creating a unique dynamic that may have contributed to the off-screen drama. She had previously acted as an intimacy coordinator on other projects, which meant she was well aware of the boundaries and protocols involved in filming intimate scenes. This experience gave her a degree of control over how close she allowed herself to get to Justin Baldoni. By later claiming that no intimacy coordinator was available, it appears she may have used the situation strategically to take control, especially as it became increasingly evident that she may have allowed herself to become emotionally and physically vulnerable on set. Blake has often highlighted that she is different from many actors in the industry. Unlike those who can shapeshift and fully transform into any character, she tends to play herself on screen. In her own words, she cannot simply step into a costume and memorize lines to become someone else. She explained that she used to feel insecure about this, often comparing herself to actors who could inhabit any character effortlessly. This self-awareness suggests that on set with Justin, she was presenting her true self, which may have made the on-screen chemistry feel far more real and, at times, difficult to manage. Wardrobe, for Blake, is central to her process of getting into character. She described clothing as an expressive tool that allows her to inhabit the persona of her role. Interestingly, some of the costumes she wore for Ends With Us came from her personal wardrobe, meaning the character was literally shaped by her own identity and style. For Justin, however, the approach was very different. He methodically documented his character's experiences in a journal, recreating the trauma and emotional complexities of Riley's life to perfect his performance. This contrast in acting styles, Blake embodying herself and Justin fully immersing into his character, created a unique tension and energy on set that blurred the lines between fiction and reality. Romance, both as a theme and as an experience, plays a significant role in Blake's perspective. She has openly expressed a love for romance, not only as an audience member but also in her personal life, and she thrives on exploring these emotions through her roles. In Ends With Us, her character's deep and multifaceted attraction to Atlas is amplified by the emotional depth in the writing, which allowed Blake to fully understand and convey what Lily felt for Riley. Blake's admitted inability to shapeshift into a character, combined with her love for romance, suggests that she may be naturally inclined to develop strong emotional connections quickly even on set, especially when the role demands it. Adding to the complexity, this intimate and highly sensitive project came just a few months after Blake had given birth. Choosing to take on such a physically and emotionally intense role under these circumstances created a perfect storm for personal and professional tension. Meanwhile, Justin's method acting required him to channel Riley's complicated emotional landscape fully, meaning the on-screen romantic intensity likely mirrored the off-screen energy. Whatever magnetic pull Riley had on Lily in the story may well have been reflected in the interactions between Blake and Justin on set, further blurring the line between performance and real emotion. The combination of Blake's authentic self-expression, her deep investment in romance, and Justin's immersive acting style created an environment where the boundaries of character and reality overlapped in ways that were both compelling and potentially explosive. It's a dynamic that may help explain why the production became so emotionally charged, and why the resulting drama off-screen has captivated so much attention. While much of this remains theoretical, several interesting facts suggest that this narrative might be closer to the truth than initially believed. One such example is an old comment Blake made on a workout post by Justin, which has resurfaced and gained attention in the context of the controversy. The exchange, which occurred roughly 100 weeks ago in 2023 around the time they began working together on set and shortly after Blake had given birth, has been interpreted by some as a subtle hint of a possible attraction. Blake saw Justin performing his exercises, responded with "amazing, now try it pregnant," and Justin replied, "You win." While some observers argue this simply reflects Blake's competitive spirit, others believe it was a playful way of flirting and inserting herself into Justin's narrative without making the interaction overtly personal. The timing of the comment during a period when Blake was adjusting to life as a new mother and simultaneously preparing for an emotionally and physically demanding role adds further intrigue, suggesting that her attention toward Justin might have extended beyond casual admiration. Control over on-set dynamics appears to have been another area where Blake asserted influence. In her complaints, she implied that Justin encouraged her to dress more attractively for her character. However, interviews and behind-the-scenes accounts indicate that Blake was in fact in charge of her wardrobe and often made independent decisions, disregarding the costume designer's suggestions. Justin only commented on her outfits after images leaked to the media and were criticized as unflattering. In reality, Blake herself reportedly selected seductive pieces for her character to heighten the on-screen romantic tension, particularly given that the film involved multiple intimate and emotionally charged scenes. This level of control over her appearance and character suggests she had a significant role in shaping how the romance played out both on screen and in relation to Justin. Accusations regarding the length of on-screen kisses and added steamy scenes also appear inconsistent with available evidence. Blake claimed that Justin extended certain intimate scenes beyond what was agreed upon, yet the records indicate that she was often the one directing these moments, demonstrating how she wanted the scenes performed. Furthermore, she accused Justin of adding additional steamy sequences to the script. However, evidence shows that Justin had suggested she rewrite certain scenes in collaboration with the intimacy coordinator, which she resisted. Ultimately, Blake rewrote these sequences herself, with some assistance from her husband on at least one scene, highlighting her strong influence over how intimacy was portrayed in the film. Blake also alleged that Justin entered her trailer topless while she was breastfeeding, a claim that seems highly improbable based on chat records and logistics. There is no evidence to suggest that Justin had knowledge of her exact schedule or access to her trailer without invitation. The details of these interactions, when examined carefully, indicate that many of the accusations may not align with documented communications, instead pointing to a scenario in which Blake maintained substantial creative control and influence over both her role and the production. Taken together, these facts suggest a highly complex and layered dynamic on set, where professional boundaries, personal emotions, and creative authority intersected in ways that heightened both the on-screen chemistry and the off-screen tensions. The combination of subtle flirtation, control over wardrobe and scene direction, and the timing of emotionally charged moments creates a compelling narrative in which the lines between professional collaboration and personal connection may have been blurred, fueling speculation, intrigue, and intense public interest in the controversy. Blake Lively's interactions with Justin Baldoni on set reveal a complex interplay of professional initiative, personal charm, and subtle maneuvering that may have influenced both on-screen chemistry and off-screen dynamics. At one point, she invited Justin to her trailer to go over their lines together, even while she was actively pumping, which demonstrates her commitment to the project while also creating an opportunity for personal connection. Interestingly, Justin did not immediately accept her invitation, explaining that he was eating and would come later. The exchange itself was straightforward and professional, yet Blake reportedly interpreted it differently, which has led some to speculate that she may have viewed it as a slight or as an indication of unreciprocated interest. This perceived misinterpretation could have been, intentionally or not, a calculated effort on her part to assert influence or to test Justin's attentiveness to her presence and possible romantic interest on set. Such behavior, whether conscious or subconscious, reflects a pattern in which Blake appears to navigate on set relationships with a blend of professional responsibility and personal engagement. This theory gains additional weight when considered alongside Blake's history of forming romantic connections with her co-stars, suggesting a recurring pattern in her career. Early in her career, while starring in Gossip Girl, She portrayed Serena van der Woodsen, opposite Penn Badgley's Dan Humphrey. The on-screen romance between their characters extended into real life, as the emotional intensity and shared experiences on set created a genuine personal bond. Their relationship developed during formative years for both actors, as they navigated rising fame and the pressures of public attention. And while it ended in 2010 before the show concluded in 2012, it set a precedent for how Blake's on-screen experiences could translate into real-life connections. This pattern seemed to manifest again during the filming of Green Lantern, when Blake reportedly developed feelings for Ryan Reynolds, who was married to Scarlett Johansson at the time, while both maintained publicly that they were simply friends. Insiders observed a notable closeness between them, with frequent private conversations and a level of intimacy that went beyond professional collaboration. Rumors suggested that the connection Blake and Ryan formed on set may have influenced the eventual breakdown of his marriage, as the attraction between them reportedly began during the filming period. This example highlights how the intensity of on-set collaboration, combined with personal chemistry, can lead to real-world romantic developments, even under complex circumstances. A similar situation allegedly occurred during the filming of The Town, where Blake's interactions with Ben Affleck while he was married to Jennifer Garner raised eyebrows. Reports from set insiders described Blake and Ben acting like flirtatious, starstruck teenagers, demonstrating playful and intimate behavior that suggested a deeper personal connection. Though the details remain unconfirmed, the anecdotal evidence aligns with a consistent pattern in Blake's career. Her on-screen roles often create an environment where strong emotional and romantic bonds with co-stars are likely to form. Taken together, these examples indicate that Blake's approach to on-set relationships combines a unique blend of confidence, charm, and professional assertiveness. Her willingness to take initiative, whether in rehearsals, wardrobe choices, or intimate scene direction, paired with her apparent predisposition to form emotional attachments during collaborative projects, provides insight into her dynamic with Justin Baldoni. It suggests that what unfolded on set may have been shaped by a mixture of genuine attraction, professional collaboration, and the natural blending of personal and professional boundaries that can occur in the highly emotionally charged environment of filmmaking. Understanding this context offers a more nuanced perspective on the events in question, highlighting how Blake's established patterns and on-set behavior may have influenced both the narrative of the film and the off-screen interactions that have since become the subject of speculation. During the filming of The Town, Blake Lively was still in a relationship with Penn Badgley, yet her interactions with Ben Affleck both on and off set suggested the possibility of an emotional affair. Reports from insiders described moments that went beyond casual friendship, including shared meals, playful exchanges, and occasional flirtation. Given Blake's known history of forming romantic attachments with co-stars on set, it is plausible that she could have similarly developed feelings for Justin Baldoni during Ends With Us, even if those feelings were not acknowledged or reciprocated. Some theorists suggest that this dynamic may have led Blake to behave in ways that tested Justin, perhaps even creating situations where he was positioned to take the fall in order to satisfy her own emotions or to manage the perceived expectations of her husband, who has reportedly displayed jealousy in the past. The theory posits that this may have been a one-sided romantic attachment, in which Blake had no intention of pursuing anything serious with Justin, but still experienced personal disappointment or frustration when her feelings were not returned. Observers note that Blake has historically been accustomed to having her way, even from a young age. Anecdotes from her childhood describe her father having to negotiate with her choir director to secure the lead for her, highlighting a pattern of expectation and accomplishment cultivated from an early age. Growing up in a privileged and fulfilling environment may have shaped her understanding of rejection, making it more challenging to navigate situations where her attention or affection was not reciprocated. By the time she took on Ends With Us, Blake was a busy mother of 4, married to a successful actor whose career keeps him away much of the time. This combination of responsibility, occasional loneliness, and desire for personal engagement may have influenced her decision to accept a romantic role with a highly attractive co-star. In doing so, she may have been seeking to rekindle the excitement of a new romance and test whether the spark still existed in her personal life. According to the theory, when Justin did not respond to her